everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I am gonna get a little bit personal and change it up a little bit. I'm gonna talk about something that's super special to me, and I want to share my adoption story with you. So I really wanted to share this story because I'm getting to the age where people my age are starting families. I've come across a couple of videos here on YouTube where, couples are starting the adoption process. I'm really excited to see adoption become, I guess, more mainstream and a thing that people talk about, and I'm really happy for these people that are adopting, but I do feel a little bit of a responsibility to share my story, and sometimes there are things that I hear in these people's videos that they say that just kind of make me cringe and upset me a little bit as a person who is adopted. So I just really wanted to open the conversation and start talking about my story and just the things that I know to be true. Luckily, I have a little book that a friend of my family made when I was born. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. Once upon a time, there was a man named Vince and a woman named Donna. They lived in a beige brick house. Vince sold furnaces and air conditioning, and Donna was a travel agent who helped people plan their vacations. When they weren't working, Vince liked to watch the Bears play football, and Donna liked to go shopping. They were very happy except one thing. They wanted a baby, but they weren't able to make one themselves. They prayed to God, please find a way to send us our baby. It happened that there was a girl who was going to have a baby. She is called the birth mother. There she is, and there is me. She was sad because she couldn't take care of any baby at that time. So I'm gonna pause for a second. I was lucky because my birth mom was also adopted, so it was a concept she was really familiar with. She was only in high school when she was pregnant with me, and I was actually her second pregnancy. And she also had my older brother, who she was pregnant with the year before. She also had him placed for adoption with a different family. So I feel like everything went smoothly, but I can't say that it was easy because a birth mom's decision to give up their child is never an easy decision. So I was lucky, and my family was lucky, and my birth mom was lucky because everything just kind of went smoothly, but it's never an easy choice. I hear way too many misconceptions about birth moms, and it's one of the things that bothers me the most when I watch these videos. I've heard people say that, for example, domestic adoptions are not very final because once the birth mom gets clean or gets out of jail, she will want the baby back. That's just an awful stereotype to spread. They don't all have their children taken away. When people say that these women are abandoning their baby, or I have 4 women in my life who are birth moms and I love them so much, and these women don't in any way fit those stereotypes. They are the strongest women I know, and they're just the best, most amazing, selfless people. And there's all different situations. Everybody has a different situation, but there are a few key things that every birth mom across the board has in common. Number 1, they're strong as hell. Number 2, they made a completely selfless decision to give their child the best life they could possibly have. Instead of considering how they will feel to experience the loss of giving birth to a child and then not getting to parent the child, they're thinking of the child, what kind of life is this baby gonna have? So I could never see that as being selfish or as abandoning your child, because in my opinion, that's complete true love. And the third thing that every birth mom has in common is they love the child that they placed and they think about them often. Okay, so back from that tangent, let's get on with our story. We left off where the birth mom was sad because she couldn't take care of any baby at that time. The birth mother went to talk to a woman called a social worker. It was her job to find the just right parents for the baby. Both the birth mother and the social worker agreed that Vince and Donna were just right. The birth mother said she knew Vince and Donna would love the baby very, very much. She said that when the baby was born, Vince and Donna could take the baby home and be the baby's parents. This is called adoption, and this is true love. On September 10th, 1992, they got a phone call from the social worker. "Congratulations," she said, "you have a baby girl. She has lots of black hair and is so beautiful." They went to the hospital where their baby was born. The baby's birth mother gave her to Donna. Everybody cried, even the baby. Sometimes people cry when they're very happy, you know. "What are you going to name her?" the birth mother asked. "We are going to call her Dana Christine," Vince said. They were very happy that they were now a family. They said, "Thank you, God, for bringing us together." God is very creative. When Vince, Donna, and Dana got home, they found their family and friends had decorated their house with balloons and signs. The sign said, "Welcome home, Dana Christine. We love you." This is only the beginning, sweetie. So my parents' friends made us this book, and I love it so much. So that really is just the beginning. We agreed on an open adoption, which means there's contact between the birth mom and the family. So my whole life, my mom and my birth mom's mom would always communicate, and they would send birthday presents for me every year, and they'd send letters and things like that, and my mom would give them updates. But my birth mom and I didn't connect personally, like me to her, and not like through our moms, until I was about 15. And she actually found me on MySpace. She sent me a MySpace message, and I felt really ready to open up communication with her. I had already had the chance to meet my older brother, who was also adopted, other baby she had, and he had met her, so we came up with an idea that we would all meet. It was around Christmas time. You know, there was no weird feelings. I could imagine I was probably a little bit nervous, but it just felt good to me. My parents came with, my little brother came with. We were all a little bit shy, but getting to know my birth mom has been such a blessing and such a huge bonus in my life. I don't have any resentment or any bad feelings or any expectation of what our relationship should be. So it just feels like it's all very special. I'm sure there are kids who are adopted who kind of feel rejected by their birth parents, but I feel that she did something very selfless. She knew that I would have a better life with my parents, and she gave that to me. She chose for me a mom and dad who are literally the best parents in the world. When my birth mom picked them, she knew that they would be the best parents I could ever possibly have. And there's no expectation between me and her because she gave me a mom, she gave me a dad, and I have no empty spaces to fill. Having her and my brothers and sisters, my biological brothers and sisters in my life, all of that is just extra blessings. And I'm so grateful to her every day for making that decision and for giving me everything. Also, I'm really grateful for the way that my parents raised me. One thing that I've been hearing in videos that has been upsetting me so much are couples who are looking to adopt children with the intention of rescuing them or saving an orphan. And I have such issues with those intentions. I think it's great to want to help the world and make the world a better place, but your child is not your community service project. I think it's a toxic way to raise a child by treating it as if you're rescuing them. That's not why you adopt a baby. You adopt a child or a baby to become a family. And if you feel that God has called you to do that and that's why you want to, that's great. But please don't raise your child as a service project. Don't raise them as a favor you're doing God. Raise them as your child. However you come together, like my little book said, God is creative. So however your family comes together is absolutely valid. That's your child then. It wouldn't be any different than if you had a child biologically and raised them. Like, you should never treat them any differently than you would your own child, because they are your own child. Basically what I'm saying is the driving force behind adopting a child should be becoming a family. Your child should not be made to feel as if they're your charity project. They should feel that you're their parents and they're your child, just like any family, regardless of how they came together. So I think it's important, if you're like moving forward with adopting a child, to just watch your language and just think, like, if that's how my parents spoke about me, how would I feel? Another thing that I've heard brought up in these types of conversations are that families that are looking to adopt, like couples, I've heard them say that they don't want their child to even have the option to meet the birth parents. And that's just another thing I would challenge you to try to overcome, because, like, if your child is growing up with you, all those spots are filled, like all those spots in their heart, like you are their mother. What makes a mother is not your DNA. Like, what makes a mother is like the person who raised you. Like, my mom is Donna. My mom is not my birth mom. I don't call her mom. She taught me to read and write and sing. She was the one who raised me. Like, I believe that my mom has always felt like nothing but gratitude towards my birth mom. So it was never like, oh, you want to meet your birth mom? How could you do this to us? And I know part of that probably has to do with the fact that we did have the agreement to have an open adoption. So they always knew that it would happen one day, like that we would meet. But there was never any weirdness. Like, never any jealousy, never any worry. And I never thought of it that way either. Like, I've always felt very secure with my parents. I've never thought of them as my adoptive parents or not my real parents. They have always been 100% my parents. And as much as I love my birth parents, they're my birth parents, they're not my parents. Nothing could ever, like, fill or take away the space in my heart that I have for my family and for my parents. You know, and if you're an adoptive parent and the day comes and it's time for your child to meet their birth parents, don't even worry. Like, don't even think that way. Go through it with them, be there for them, and don't talk negatively about the birth parents either. They're the ones who made the decision that brought your family together. I'm really passionate about speaking about adoption, and I've always kind of wanted to find a platform where I could really share these things and I could sort of like break down the stigmas and the stereotypes, because in the media, adoption is portrayed like all kinds of weird. And I'm really happy I have the chance here on YouTube to share my story, and I'd love to do a Q&A in the future too. So if you've ever wondered anything about adoption or have any questions that you think I could answer, I would love to help out and answer those to the best of my ability. So feel free to ask them in the comments below. And if I get a whole bunch of questions, I'll make a second video where I answer them all. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.